Please click on the thumbs up button and the subscribe button if you enjoyed my vlog. Bye for now. Not been on this walk before, and I just noticed that tree at the end. That would be ideal for me to draw. Not easy to get down these steps to this lake. So this is a lake I've never been to before, and it's near Winterset. I've just been informed by my son it's called Botany Lake. So if you have a look on the map, you'll find it. So this is the edge running alongside that lake. So we've crossed the road from that lake you've just seen, and this brings us on to Winterset. So that's one of the fishing jetties off that small lake we first saw. We're going up the road here towards Winterset Car Park. I should have said it's towards the Anglers Car Park. There's not a car park at Winterset. Well, we were going to go up that footpath, but you can see it's too waterlogged to get past, really, to be safe. And that takes you back to that first lake we saw. Even in the countryside we've got to stand this sort of thing, and it's not. So that's the Botany Bay side of the road where we've just been, and we're just a little swing round now, and you'll see how close it is to the Winterset Lake. And there we go, look, it's just beyond that corner of that field, and we've had loads of rain after all that drought. You can see what it's done to the soil. What are we on today? Monday, Saturday night it threw it down all night. And here we are at the Winterset Lake. There's ducks on this one, no ducks on that Botany one. I don't know if you can see the ducks from here with my camera. Oh yeah, there's a few there. I think there's a gadwall among that lot. Certainly a coot, you could hear coot when I came in. That one note call. And when it's dark and the air's thin, the sound that comes from the coot is eerie. Here's a few more coot, of course, and a couple of up-ended ducks there that I can't make out. Oh, I think there's some tufty down. Now this morning it was beautiful sunlight, bright, really sparkly, and you can see now in the afternoon the weather's changed completely, and it keeps going from warm to cold. Well, I don't know if the camera picked it up, but jackdaws were calling a second ago. I'd like to go further on, but the farmer's out in his field and it won't be fair to him for us to interrupt his work schedule. You must remember, well, there's no must. I always remember that the countryside is for everybody, and therefore you should respect one another, farming in particular. Yeah, just a bit more of the lake there. You can see that horses have been through on this path. You would have been able to see that last week, it'd have been too dry. So at this time of year when the farmer's out with his plough and he's putting the seed in. You can see what happens, followed by the gulls. And I can't honestly see what they are, the light's too bad. And they're moving all the time, as you can see. Got in that corner. And now I wonder why they're in that corner and not everywhere else. There's a reason for that. And I'll find out what it is later. So these are the rules if you want to fish on the Winterset site, and there's loads of them. I just can't see from here. I know one of them is you mustn't light fires, which is obvious, so it's a good idea to read the rules. So we're back to the Winterset Lake. You saw the leading up to this is a boathouse. You saw it earlier from the different direction. And we're going on another path, which is that one there. And of course it goes around the lake, but I've never been down it before. And the farmer's right at the end, ploughing the field or seeding the field. And of course we got it from a different angle now. In the summertime this is a beautiful place to be because of the overhanging trees. Although I've not been down before, I'm just saying that. But you can see the overhang is creating a nice shade. I love to go down these country lanes, particularly at this time of year. Anytime soon we'll be in the chack of the Fieldfare and Redwing. Well, chack from Fieldfare, and they can be in huge groups and come for the berries, of course, and the milder climate, our winter. And I think you can see there's a lot of stuff falling here already. Lots of leaves fallen already. Yeah. Now these particular trees are wonderful for tree creepers, and you know, sometimes when it's quiet, really quiet, you can see one going up and then coming back down again, or moving to the next tree, I should say. No wind today, and that could mean that it was easier for birds to fly, but why aren't they flying? Because I'm not seeing them. A grand old tree stood the time, no doubt. Wonder how long it's been there. You just can't see in this light, but one of those branches has broken off, and it would have come across this path at one point. And you see how the ivy grows up. I think it's been knocked back at some time, this, so it don't get to the ground and choke the tree. When I was younger, I used to wonder why saplings in the middle of woodland managed to survive. There's no light, no food source, and it baffled me for years and years, until about 2 or 3 years ago I found out that trees can help one another out, and they do that by the root system. And they divert food stores to other trees. I wondered if it was only a sapling, if the food source was coming from like a mother tree. You know, I don't know about that, but I'm just making that up because So I'm thinking, well, these trees have been stood here for years and years and years. And sometimes they're in total shade and yet they grow. So where are they getting their life from if they can't see the... Now you can see this one's more or less rotted away, but it's creating an area for something else to live off, and it looks as though it could have been burnt at some point. But when it falls, it creates an area for ants and all sorts of stuff like that to live off. So it's never wasted, it's going all the time, nature. In fact, some of it's dropped down there, look. And I doubt, well, you better see that next year it'll all have rotted into the ground. And then there's this silver birch, which is a wonderful tree for wayfarers, because you can peel a white bark back, well, if it's peeling off in particular, and put it in a tin and use it as a firelight. It's got a very high calorific burn, so it burns dead easy. I know I've said this on many of my videos, but one of the tricks that I've learnt myself is if you've got a lane like this and it bends away sharply, and you want to see what's at the other side of the bend before it sees you, for instance deer, I often walk to the other side of the road, and if there's something on the right, at my right hand side, I'll see it before it's... Just to prove that theory, here I am on the right, and I'm going to cross over to the left, and you can see now that I can see around that corner, and if there's anything just around that corner, I'll probably see it before it sees me. Well, I've already said that each season is different, and it's different in ways that you might not think. I'm going to be sneezing any time. I'm certainly feel as though I want to blow my nose, and that's because there's lots of rotting vegetation about it. There's a smell about it, and it dries the back of the throat, and that will be gone in maybe a month's time. There'll be no smell like that at all. So that's the sign for Hall Park Woods, and carry on down. If you carry on down this lane, bearing to the right, that will take you down to Hall Park Woods, and also at the bottom of this lane you come to a brick wall, and on the other side of the brick wall is Walton Hall, which was belonged to Charles Waterton at one time, and the local people used to call him the Squire. He wasn't really a squire, but he was a very interesting man. Some of the information I'll talk about at some point, you can see some of his stuff